Okay, well, welcome to another episode of the Team RedEye ShitShow. Today I'm joined again by, he wants me to stop calling him Rabid Waffles because he wants to move away from that title, so I guess I'll just call him Corbin. And then I also got Chutters, also known as Scarecrow here, who was with us last time. How you boys doing today?
I'm as happy as a clam.
All right.
Actually, no, an oyster.
I see.
An oyster would be most happy.
I'm doing wonderfully.
That's good. All right, well, today, Corbin here wanted us to talk about cartoons, I guess we're going to go with, because we've done movies a few times. I think we've probably done cartoons a couple times, too, but whatever. So I'll start off. We were going to talk about our favorite cartoons, I guess. I'll start off with my favorite adult cartoon, because I kind of have to divide it up to make it more doable. Watching my channel, if people have seen like my South Park collection and my South Park videos, it should be pretty obvious that South Park's my favorite adult-oriented cartoon. And that's for various reasons, obviously. I really like the characters. I think that the jokes are funny, and it's overall a series I feel that hasn't declined too much over time. I mean, Season 20 was bad. We don't talk about Season 20, but the rest of the show I don't have a problem with. And even Season 20, like South Park at its worst, is better than a lot of these other shows at their best, like Family Guy and whatnot. But other than that, I'd say I also have a favorite, for like kids shows, I have to kind of divide it by network, because like we're talking Nickelodeon, I'd say it's probably Invader Zim. If we're talking Cartoon Network, probably Ed, Edd n Eddy. And then if we're talking like more current kids shows, I guess Regular Show is the only one that I've actually really liked that was made after 2010. Well, I mean, I like The Loud House, too. That was alright. It's not the best, but it was alright.
The creator of The Loud House was a good man who did nothing wrong.
Well, I don't want to get into those things, because I personally don't know about that, and when people make accusations about people, I don't like to get involved, because, frankly, that just stirs up more and more trouble, and I'm just going to stay out of it. You know what I mean?
Hear, hear.
He was a rapist and must be stopped. Him and that AVG and both. But my favorite cartoon's Brickleberry.
Don't lie.
Like, I like darker theme when it comes to like kids cartoons. I like darker, like horror themed cartoons, like Billy and Mandy and Invader Zim and
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I actually don't like Courage that much.
Well, fuck you then.
Courage is okay in my opinion. I like Scooby-Doo more. I like Mystery Inc. show.
Well, I'm afraid that you're banned, because that's bad taste.
You haven't seen Mystery Inc.?
No, I like Mystery Inc. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm just saying if you're going to shit on Courage.
I didn't even do that. I just said I disliked it. I don't even dislike it. I think it's okay. I like the one where Muriel gets turned into a puppet.
Yeah, the Great Fusili.
Yeah. Also, I really need you to return the slab.
My name's Muriel. I'm only 3.5 years old. Too much macaroni.
Wait, have you seen Hot Diggity Demon's Invader Zim video?
I think so, yeah. The Invader Zim Lost episode, it was called, or something like that.
Yeah, Jonah Vasquez says that's his favorite episode of Invader Zim. But my favorite adult cartoon, I have no clue what is. Maybe it's F is for Family. Maybe it's BoJack Horseman, not including like their latest season. But F is for Family, season 3 was a good season. After season 2, I was like, okay, it has to end here because this would be the perfect way to end it. But then when season 3 came out, I changed my mind. So season 3 is my favorite season now.
Well, I haven't seen season 3 all the way through yet, so I've been meaning to.
But it's definitely the most depressing season. Also, I feel like BoJack Horseman lately has just been trying to outdo itself every season. And because the latest season, BoJack Horseman, spoilers, strangles his girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Which I think was a little like weird. Like at this point, I can't feel sympathy for his character because he's just an idiot.
Well, he was the only character in that show that I consistently liked, and they hardly had him in, like, the last 2 seasons at all.
Why would they even focus on Diane? Diane sucks.
Yeah, Diane's the worst character.
She's the meanest out of all the other characters. She's actually And she's like really judgmental and just I don't like her. She's the most like a teenage girl probably, if I had to say.
Oh yeah. What about you,
It's
Chad?
really
What's your
good.
favorite cartoons?
Oh, this is. I'm trying to sort of like think back because like I'm 50 years old, so this is. I'm trying to think. I did like old school Inspector Gadget. That was good.
Oh yeah, those were. The movie is so bad once you've seen the cartoon because you realize that it's nowhere near as good as the source material.
Yeah, especially if you've like watched the cartoon before, like first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you watch the film. You just kind of like, this is quite sad. This is quite depressing.
Yeah, and like the thing is, I liked the movie a lot as a kid because that was actually my first exposure to the character, and then I went and watched the cartoon, and I'm like, the movie had nothing on that.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, Inspector Gadget, that was good. Always had to like. That was like one thing I always like before. Like my sisters and brothers and all that would be going to school, and like obviously I didn't have to go, like when I was that young,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, I just had to like spend the morning watching Inspector Gadget, and it was great.
Literally the only memory I have of Inspector Gadget is the second movie when he's trying to bang the female robot.
I hated the second movie more than the first, which is ironic because it was actually more faithful to the cartoon. It was just a worse movie.
I've never seen the second.
I couldn't stand it.
After the first, I was just like, nah, I'm not going to give it a chance.
Well, the second one has all these contradictions that completely contradict the first. I can't think of any examples because it's been years since I've seen it. But I remember watching it, and at the time I still liked the first because I was a kid. And I watched the second one, and there was just so much stuff that they either glossed over, completely contradicted, or just forgot about from the previous film.
Is it supposed to carry on? Like, is it literally like supposed to carry on from the first?
See, I mean, maybe not. Maybe it's another adaptation of the cartoon, but the fact that they put 2 in the title led me to believe it was a direct sequel, but it clearly didn't feel like it was.
Did you guys know that about that Inspector Gadget had this really cool remake called Robocop? It was a little dark though.
Oh yeah.
I don't like that direction it went, if I'm being honest, but it was an okay movie.
You know, speaking of Robocop, I saw that for the first time earlier this year, and I liked that movie a lot. It was a really good movie. The original, of course.
Oh yeah. What do you mean? There is only one original Robocop. What are you talking about?
We don't talk about the remake.
What remake?
I'm gonna come clean here. I've never seen Robocop. I lied.
Oh. I have
like Terminator?
I have like the trilogy pack of RoboCop that has the first like 3, like the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the sequels yet. My friend tells me that they're not that great, but I've heard other people say that the second one is okay and then the third one is trash.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I go. The second one it's all right. Not anything on the first, but the third one is just it's almost like the like Ninja Turtles films. They just get progressively worse, sort of thing.
I'm not gonna lie, I have a big soft spot for Ninja Turtles 2, though, just because, like, the whole thing with Vanilla Ice and all that in it. Just because of how stupid it gets.
I think I remember seeing the first film in cinema, which was nice.
Yeah, obviously I was probably too young for that, if even alive. When did it come out, like 93?
It must be, it must be around then. I can't.
So I wouldn't have even been born yet. I was because I was born in 94. So.
Did you know? Did you know that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was originally going to be called Teenage Mutant Nigger Turtles?
I don't think that's true. Dude, could you imagine? Because the UK had a problem with calling it Ninja. They had to put Hero.
Yeah.
It's going that far.
I thought it like when I found out about that. Because we kind of found out about that when we were still at school, and I thought people were just like joking about that. I thought no, there has to be like a legit reason why it was called Hero, and everyone said, oh yeah, because like the whole ninjas are too aggressive sounding or something.
Uh-huh.
And you were like, no, that's it, because it's you're in the playground and people just make up stuff anyway, and you're like, yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, but then like they
Ninja
also
Turtle.
cut out like Michelangelo's nunchucks and whatever.
Yeah, it's censorship is kind of weird. Have you heard of a PS3 game called Siren Blood Curse?
The name sounds familiar, but I've never played it. I've heard the name.
Yeah, there's. Well, I won't sort of go into about the game itself, but there's what I've been told and what I believe happened. There's not sections, but the some of the cutscenes are edited in the American version. Like in the European version of the game, like there's blood splatters on the screen and stuff. In the American version, all that's cut out.
Huh. You know, that's...
I find that kind of weird, because it's kind of like America sort of censors stuff like that in games, and then like we can't have hero. I mean, we have hero instead of ninja in a title.
Right.
I just realized
It's weird.
the reason they call it Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles instead of Ninja Turtles is because the UK doesn't like Fortnite.
Shut up. Don't ever come near me or my son ever again.
We had the foresight to realise that, so it sounds legit to me.
No, but like the American games actually censoring like really like small stuff has actually been really common. Back, especially in like the PS2 days, like Ape Escape 2, for instance. I have because the PS4 download is the European version. It has all the British voice cast and all that. And so when I was playing it, and I'm fighting against Spectre, and he constantly says "damn" when you hit him, and I'm like, wow, because that's like surprising in an Ape Escape game, because in the American version they always censored it and had him say "darn" or something like that.
Yeah, didn't they, when the original Transformers movie came out, the 80s one, wasn't like that a really big deal when like Ultra Magnus says "damn"? Everyone's like, whoa, hold up, he said "damn."
Yeah, and like and also when the book series, the series of unfortunate events, was written, that was a big deal too, because there's the in the second book there's the part where Olaf, when he's in disguise as Stefano, says "damn" when he runs away.
That damn dirty ape.
But it was because it's a children's book series, obviously.
I just find it funny, like when people are talking about the Transformers on there, that they get like it says like, Spike, was it Spike, isn't he? He says shit early on in the film. And then Ultra Magnus says "damn," and people are far more offended by "damn" than they will shit.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen any of those Dragon Ball Z fan subtitled tapes from like the 80s and 90s?
Oh, I watch them all the time.
Because I have one, and you know in those tapes they added in a bunch of things. They're kind of like manga entertainment in a sense, where they add in a bunch of swears that weren't originally there.
Oh yeah. Oh, I gotta get hold of those.
Yeah, I've got one of them. The easiest way to find them is if you go on eBay and you look up Dragon Ball Z VHS English subtitles. Sometimes you can find them.
Right.
And obviously they're completely unofficial. I've only been able to find them in NTSC, so you'll need a multi-system player to play them over there, because you guys use PAL.
Yeah, I got a multi-system, yeah.
Okay, because I have a region unlocked DVD player, but I don't have a multi-system VCR, so...
Oh, I miss the old days of like manga entertainment. It's like, let's just license a bunch of ultra-violent stuff and put tons of swearing in.
Oh yeah.
They were the days, man.
Well, like, have you ever seen Mad Bull 34?
Yes.
I prefer to watch that dubbed.
Yeah, stuff like that I like watching dubbed.
Just because it's it fits the tone of that series so much. Because it's basically going for this parody of like cheesy American cop movies.
I think some stuff just sounds better. Like you can get more like if you've seen Ghost Stories,
yeah,
the ADV
yeah.
dub.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch that in the original Japanese, it's incredibly boring.
Oh, I'm sure, because it was supposed to be like a serious horror series or something like that.
Yeah, because I watched it all like dubbed first, because I heard it turned it from like horror into comedy. I was like, okay, let's see what it's like. And then I tried watching the entire series in like Japanese, and it's mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I can't really even get through an episode with it without changing it back. It's that drastically different. But obviously, you know when all the jokes are coming up if you've seen the dub, so you can kind of get through it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Right. Well, I think one of my favorite things is they for some reason her younger brother just makes a bunch of gibberish noises when he's upset.
Yeah. I
also like that they called out like in like the final episode when Amano Jaku, no relation, switches sides. They point out in the dub. He's like, "Oh, I suddenly had a change of heart for no reason, and now I like you kids."
they always like draw your attention to stuff like errors in animation and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like when she I don't know the episode name, but the school radio episode where she's like trapped in the radio booth. With the ghost there. She does this weird pose and she says, "Oh, now I've got scoliosis."
Oh yeah, I remember that. I also like there's that part where that guy I can't remember most of the characters' names. But there's the part where he's walking like this and he's like, "Oh, be quiet! I'm trying to do my my cliched anime pose or whatever." I can't even remember what he said.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. He's like waiting outside school or something, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like it's cool to like I won't bring that up because it's with the whole Funimation thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's you know what probably whatever. I can't talk.
Well, I do miss I do wish ADV was still a thing because they're the ones who did that dub.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't mention my favourite adult cartoon, did I?
I don't think so.
No, it's Sergeant Friends.
Yeah, that I don't think that doesn't even count as a cartoon.
It's more of a
yes, it does.
It's a slideshow, but
slideshow.
Hey, I mean, there's some very minimalistic animation I've done. Remember when I have Gabe pull up the pizza? His arm goes like that.
Yeah, see, there we go. Cartoon.
Yeah, maybe ever.
Or like when Sarge pulls out a gun, it has his arm move up. I did some animation.
But
that counts as a cartoon.
Yeah, there you go.
in the eyes of the law. No,
I
was going to say I'll give you a serious answer. Mortal Kombat Defenses of the Realm.
Yeah, I still need to see that, but like I said, I'm going to have to import it since we don't have any DVDs here. I have seen some bootlegs go on eBay, and sometimes they pop up from time to time. But,
yeah, it's
but of course, I would never buy bootlegs. My friend Bootman Bill always has them, not me.
That Bootman Bill should be arrested.
He should, especially for selling that cursed copy of Call of Duty Black Ops.
I mean, buying bootlegs is pretty much the same thing as downloading movies on the internet, and that is also the same thing as killing an old lady.
Yeah, well, that's the Boondocks thing, obviously. But have you ever seen that one from the IT crowd where it's like you wouldn't shoot a policeman, you wouldn't take a dump in his helmet, you wouldn't send it back to his wife and then steal it?
Do you like the IT crowd?
The IT crowd, yeah, it's a good show.
I want to watch it. What's the black nerd's name?
Moss? Yeah, I think it's Moss.
Also, I have a question. Do you like Tales from the Crypt?
Of course I like Tales from the Crypt. I have the whole series.
I think the best episode is the one with Lou Paloma. You know that one?
I don't know who that is, so you'd have to...
I remember his name just because he has, the best line in the whole show. But the episodes where he's trying to get money by faking his death.
That's the first episode.
Huh?
That's the first episode.
No, it's not.
Oh, no, you're right. The first episode's about the guy who got executed and came back. No, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Like, he gets buried alive and then he comes back, right?
What I was saying, what I want to say about that episode, though, is that's my favorite episode, and I like the ending where he's about to be electrocuted to death, and he goes, because nobody believes that he's Lou Paloma, because Lou Paloma died in the past. Everyone's like, oh, he's dead, you can't be Lou Paloma. But when he's about to get electrocuted, he goes, my name is Lou Paloma, blow me. And then they shock him to death.
Are you sure that's not the first episode?
That is definitely not the first episode. That's in like season 2. It's somewhere between seasons 2 and 4.
Okay, well, I've definitely seen it. I haven't watched all of it yet, but I've seen the first 5 seasons, so I own all of them, but... Well, actually, I don't think I own season 7. Or is it season 6? There's one of them I don't have. You know, in Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm, they, like, surgically removed all of the female characters' breasts, and I think that was cruel.
Wait, what?
Just like they did to Miss Keen in Powerpuff Girls 2016.
Hot Diggity Demon did that like one joke. She's getting the guy has a scalpel.
I know.
Also, Hot Diggity Demon did a series a long time ago that like foreshadowed a bunch of jokes he made in the future, but it was making fun of those jokes, saying they wouldn't be they're dumb ideas. Like the series said that there's one episode where the guy looks over to his friend and his friend says, "So the joke of this skit is that you're Mario, but it's edgy." And he goes, "I think it's funny that you think that's funny." And he hits him in the head and walks away. But Hot Diggity Demon later on made a video that was just Mario being edgy.
Yeah,
And
but
then
it was probably a callback, you know?
Maybe. But that show made fun of just that sense of humor that Hot Diggity Demon's grown to have, and I don't know if that was if that's the joke or not, but I think it's funny that that happens.
So, I went and saw that movie, Good Boys, last weekend. It was actually a really funny movie.
From the trailers, it seemed unrealistic, because, like, when I was that age, I knew all of that stuff. I don't know if it's accurately portraying people at that age or not.
So, I think it actually was, just because, like, they knew all this stuff, or thought they knew all this stuff, but there was, like, actual things they didn't know, like how to kiss properly and stuff.
Makes me think of the way my brother Nathan was at that age.
But I thought it was a really funny movie. Like, I didn't expect it to be, but it really was. Like,
the jokes I saw for the trailer reminded me of, like, when my brother Nathan told me that the reason the Titanic puts only women and kids on boats was because 2 women could have babies.
He's a smart boy.
He's so smart.
Smart boy.
As you said, that was clearly not the intention, and it was actually so that the women could have sex with the children. To have babies.
If I don't eat rice, the power won't come. You know, that's one movie I actually really want to get, is the speedy version of The Return of Cooler, but that's the one I never find. Like, I don't find a lot of the movies. I can usually find, like, episode discs, but, like, the actual, like, Return of Cooler is, like, the hardest one to find for me.
Is it available anywhere is it, like, even uploaded to YouTube or anything? Or is it just impossible?
You know, like, several clips of it are, which I assume are probably the best bits, but, you know.
I get you. Yeah.
I like seeing the whole thing. Like, I have the speedy version of, Super Android 13, which I haven't seen, like, any clips of on YouTube, I don't think. I might have seen a couple, I don't remember for sure. But I definitely know that I have the speedy versions of episodes 3 and 4 as well of Dragon Ball Z. And I know those haven't been uploaded to YouTube, like, at all, any portion of them. Kind of tempted, all honesty, to put some of the clips from it on my second channel or something.
I'd like to track down the voice actors for the speedy dub, just to see if they even remember doing it.
Well, I don't know if you saw that video I did, but I got an update where someone claiming to be from Malaysia gave me what they think, or they had some knowledge of it, sort of, and they kind of gave me information on it. I don't know if you've seen that.
Was it about getting, like, them getting the hold of it, and just basically like a list of some of the people who are involved and doing voice, like, it was basically just staff at some of these stores, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, like, granted, that's one unverified comment, but it was pretty believable, so I think that that's highly likely, you know?
Mm.
Especially since I know for a fact Speedy is a video store chain over there, similar to, like, FYE or...
Are they still running, Speedy?
I think so. I think they're actually, like, the biggest video retailer in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken.
I have a question for you boyos.
What's that?
What's your favorite actor?
Actor? Probably Tim Curry. I really like Tim Curry.
What's your favorite role of him?
Dr. Frankenfurter.
Is that the one where you transcend?
Yeah, that's the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh. Wait, what was the sequel called?
Shock Treatment.
You want to know my favorite actor?
Who's that?
Is Jack Nicholson.
He's a good one.
I watched that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it was a really good movie. It's probably not my favorite movie, but I thought that he acted darn tootin' good, I gotta say. And I started watching more of his movies, and I saw The Shining, and I saw the one where he plays a guy with OCD, and I was like, wowzers.
I'd also say my favorite voice actor is Keith David. Hands down, Keith David's by far my favorite voice actor.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good. Have you seen, I don't know if you follow Ed Boon, because I don't know if you fellas are woke enough to follow him, but he's confirmed that Keith David is doing Spawn.
Oh, that's good. That actually... Because the thing is, I've been kind of put off buying Mortal Kombat 11 due to some of the bullshit about it.
Yeah.
Well, that, and to be honest, I don't think any of the new characters are that interesting either.
No. I mean, one of them is voiced by Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, and I mean, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well, and then you had, like, Sonya voiced by Ronda Rousey, which I don't care.
No. I didn't even know who she was.
She's like an MMA fighter or some shit.
Yeah, I was just looking up. It was like the voice actors for like 10 were... Even the voice actors for like Special Forces were like way better.
Well, like, you know what I miss? I miss, like... Have you ever played through Mortal Kombat 4?
Yeah.
So, have you seen, like, the voice acting in, like, Jax's ending and, like, Jarrek's ending and stuff like that?
Yeah, like, you know, he sort of grabs Jarek and holds over the cliff and everything. Yeah.
And, like, that's one of my favorite things in, like, all of video games, because he's like, no, Jarek, this is not brutality, this is a fatality. And then he drops him and he makes this noise where it's like,
it's almost like Raiden's scream as he's falling. Because I think a lot of the voices were just done by members of the team. Like, you can tell in Deception. Like Carlos Pacina, he just does like Raiden and all other sort of voices. You can just tell it's him.
Yeah. Well, like, and the other thing is, like, Mortal Kombat 4 specifically, because Mortal Kombat 4 was actually my introduction to the series.
Okay.
There's also, like, with Raiden in Mortal Kombat 4, they had the same line that they repeated over and over again. It reminds me a lot of SpongeBob, actually, because if you repeatedly hit Raiden, it doesn't matter where you hit him, he'll go, ow, my leg!
You know that, is it Kano? That's the cyborg? No, that...
Kano is the one with the laser eye. The cyborgs are Sector, Cyrax, and Cyber Sub-Zero, and Smoke, depending on which version we're going on.
Yeah, because Kano's not really a cyborg.
And Frost now.
Oh, yeah. You know what? They fucked up Frost, too. I mean, granted, they kept her kind of the same.
Granted, they fucked up all the characters.
Well,
in 11, I will say, on record, that 11 is a worse game than Special Forces.
And that's quite a feat.
Because Special Forces fucks you over once. They're still, and people who bought Mortal Kombat 11 are still getting fucked over. So
because of all the microtransactions and the combat packs and all that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the last character for the first combat pack isn't released until the end of March.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I refuse to get the game until Spawn is in it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and buy it secondhand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, so I'm gonna wait until a complete edition comes out, buy that secondhand, so I don't give them any money even for the DLC.
Yep.
What I was saying about Kano, though, is that he wasn't Australian until the movie. And then they made him Australian in Mortal Kombat 9. And now he's Australian, and he stays Australian.
Well, to be fair, he didn't really talk in most of... Like, I think 9 was, like, one of his first speak... No, he spoke in Armageddon.
But,
Or did he? No, I don't think he was even that major in Armageddon. I think it was, like... I don't even remember. Kano was actually pretty, like, in the background for the most part. Like, the only games he was prominent in were, like, 1 or 2. I can't... Maybe it was 2. 2... Armageddon and, like, 9 are, like, the only ones he was even in. And I think he's in 11, too, but, yeah.
Yeah, he was in... 1, 3, Deadly Alliance, Armageddon, yeah, and 9.
Yeah. And, like, here's the thing. I actually really like the Mortal Kombat movies, and I say movies as in I actually don't mind Annihilation. Like, I definitely see its flaws, and it's nothing compared to the first one, but I still enjoyed it.
Annihilation is my favourite worst movie.
Yeah, it's got a lot of weird shit in it that makes it enjoyable.
Mm. I mean, I can quote that, as, you know, in conversation and stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I like how, like, one of the things I thought was the stupidest thing about Annihilation is the relationship between Shinnok, Raiden, and Shao Kahn. Like, Shinnok is their father and their brothers, and it didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And not to mention Shinnok was just some guy, and so was Shao Kahn. Like, neither of them looked at all like their character from the game.
No, he took his. If he was going to take his helmet off, he should have done it like right at the end of the film, not just like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
Shinnok,
like
they didn't even try. He was just some guy.
My friend Zach, his favorite Mortal Kombat character is Frost, and he especially likes the Frost from Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay, Frost has always been a shit character, though.
Yeah, but he says like the way her head like connects to her body turns him on, and he likes that.
Your friend's fucking weird.
He also likes gamer girl.
But like, cause Frost. Here's the thing about Frost. I always hated her as a character, but she worked as a plot device. Because the whole point about Frost is she was someone who joined the Lin Kuei, was too arrogant, so Sub-Zero wouldn't like let her advance too far in the ranks. And so she wanted to overthrow Sub-Zero. That's her whole point. But I've never liked her as a character. I just thought she worked as a plot device as kind of a enemy to Sub-Zero.
In Mortal Kombat, she's in the game for like 2 seconds because she gets thrown by Sub-Zero, I think.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 10 was kind of a disappointing game, in my opinion.
It was. I still played through 10, but they focused too much on the new characters, and I'm all for advancing a series and making it new. But when only 3 of the new characters are even remotely likable, you know what I mean? Like,
you don't like Cassie Cage?
Fuck no, I hate Cassie Cage.
She's like the best new character. What are you talking about, man?
I can't stand her. Like, because she's got all those quips and one-liners that work really well for Johnny Cage, but when she does it, it just feels like she's trying to live in her father's shadow.
The 2 characters.
I don't think that makes any sense. Okay, you can't live in a shadow.
Shut up.
I liked who was it? Kung Jin and Takeda from 10.
Yeah,
they completely cut him out from 11.
Yeah, exactly. So I liked Takeda. Kung Jin I was all right with. I liked my favorite of the new characters was Aaron Black. I thought he was the coolest.
Not Jackie. You're not a fan of Jackie?
Not necessarily, no.
Wait, this man's not black.
Hold your fire. This man isn't black.
Wait, this isn't on the subject of movies, shows, or games. But do any of you have interesting childhood stories?
I mean, I think we all do. Like Dozer Mac, on the other hand, if we had him on here, his fucking stories, ooh, they are something, dude. By the way, I'm gonna leave in about 30 minutes because I gotta go to work.
You should go back and work at the drive-thru, because then you could leave in like 30 hours.
Yeah, or I could just not show up and then go in and be like, oh shit, was I supposed to work today? And they'd be like, oh, don't worry about it, because I made them my bitch there, so.
I watched a couple of days, the Tales from the Drive-Thru, and yeah, they were pretty entertaining.
I plan on bringing that back with more, like, stuff like, because I've kind of expanded that series to talk about other stuff than just working at, like, McDonald's. The next one I plan on doing is going to be talking about my time working in a call center. Ooh, let's see, because here's the thing, I've had kind of a boring life in the grand scheme of things. Like, I have things that I've enjoyed and had fun with, but, like, telling other people about them wouldn't exactly be entertaining, you know? Because a lot of it's just, like, nostalgia, like, hanging out and, like, playing games outside or sitting in my basement playing Xbox, you know?
I ever tell you about the time I got hit by a black guy?
Yeah, you did, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of like
one of these. Did I ever say it on one of these things?
I don't think so.
But what happened was, like, the guy, like, came up to me. I was at a park, and he just started telling me to call him the N-word. And I didn't do it, and he hit me in the face anyway. And then, like, I freaking ran away, because I'm not going to fight a black guy.
You're so woke.
Yeah. No, he wasn't that. I didn't want to get beat up. He was
No,
a
I know.
Guy.
So yeah, the stories I have, kind of embarrassing, I think, but, fuck it. So back in, like, 4th and 5th grade, believe it or not, I was a very unhinged person. I used to, because there was this one, like, girl that was, like, popular and attractive that I really wanted to impress. So I started doing, like, a lot of weird shit to try and impress her. Like, I'd start fights with the principal,
Actual fist fights?
Well, no.
Good.
No. I did throw a chair at him once. But,
Easy.
I remember, like, I can't remember everything I did, because I did a lot of weird stuff. Like, it was clear, like, it was because I thought it, like, because they thought it was funny, and so I just kept going because I got approval. Like, I obviously grew out of that. That was all a crazy phase, but, like, I actually had to transfer schools because I actually ended up chasing this kid with, like, a metal baseball bat and trying to hit him. And the thing is, that kid didn't even do anything to me. I was just doing it just to do it. I also, like, there was a time when the teacher told me, I asked if I could go sharpen my pencil, and the teacher said no. So I got down on the floor and, like, combat crawled over to the fucking, like, pencil sharpener and started sharpening it. And then she saw me doing it, and she's like, I said no, and I'm like, yeah, but you didn't see me come over here. So I don't even remember. I did a lot of stupid shit. I used to, like, get on top of all the desks and, like, run and jump between the desks while people were in class. Yeah, it was something. Then when I got to, like, 7th grade, when I got to, like, 7th grade, there was this teacher that I had that, whenever she'd, like, you know, get me in trouble, I'd always call her a stupid bitch and, like, be really mean to her. Yeah, like I said, I was kind of unhinged when I was younger.
No wonder you don't like kids.
I don't get how that connects in the slightest.
It was a joke about how you weren't a very good kid. I act weird in school for attention, stuff like that. I'm trying to stay away from that recently, but there was, like, the one time where there was, like, this, like, emo girl I was trying to impress, so I stapled a piece of paper to my forehead.
Dude, all you have to do is tell her how much you love My Chemical Romance, and she'll instantly fall for you. Then you gotta read her your Harry Potter fanfiction. Make sure you go into detail about how all the characters are dressed, and you go on for 5 minutes about what everyone is wearing.
I like the part where the guy's like, I'm not even gonna bother reading this. It just goes on for like five minutes of her talking about how all the characters are dressed. He just skips that whole part. He's like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah, Jeff, have you ever seen or read that, My Immortal?
Yeah.
It's good shit. Thanks to Raven for the help.
I mean, it might as well be canon because all the characters in it are gay.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. My favorite part of My Immortal is in, like, one of the later chapters. She accidentally fucks up and calls the character by her own name instead of by the character's names. So it, like, clearly reveals that that character is definitely a self-insert.
Not a good one. But I think, like, every writer tries to put, like, a little bit of themselves into characters.
Sure.
But if you think of that, and you think of her story, it's a lot darker.
Yeah.
How much everything, there's, like, tons of, like, cutting yourself, pedophilia. There's
it's a fucking dark story if you think about the fact that her character is a self-insert, especially.
Yeah, and also, I think the idea of Harry Potter changing his name to vampire and becoming a god person is pretty great. They should do that in the actual books. I feel like if J.K. Rowling read that fan fiction, it would give her a lot of bad ideas.
Worse than the idea she's already having?
If you come up with an idea if you come up with like a new idea for a canon in your books that have already been written years after they've been written, it doesn't count. It's not true. You can't just say something and it counts for the book you wrote.
Well,
it has to be in the book.
I think if you write a sequel later on and it reveals something, as long as it doesn't contradict anything directly, I don't see a problem with it. I mean, the argument could be made, like, because, you know, here's the thing. Like, Dragon Ball Z, we'll use that as an example. In the original Dragon Ball series, Goku was just a monkey boy, and Piccolo was actually supposed to be a demon. But in Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Piccolo are both revealed to be aliens. Those actually do cause some contradictions, but it's Toriyama, so he does that shit all the time, but...
But in Dragon Ball Z, isn't, like... Doesn't Goku have a monkey kid?
Well, yeah, like, well, Saiyans have monkey tails. Except for Goten, because Toriyama forgot about them. That's literally the whole reason that Goten doesn't have a tail.
You know, my favorite issue of Sonichu?
What's that?
The one where all of the trolls, all of Chris Chan's trolls, get tortured to death in a courtroom.
Yeah, Sonichu is an experience, dude. There's 2 self-inserts in Sonichu. Sonichu, first off, himself is a self-insert, but then Chris Chan literally puts himself in the story.
And he's the mayor.
Yeah.
And, I think it's... I don't understand how, in, like, Chris Chan's comics, he can... I don't remember how he does it. How does he, turn the female characters, when they turn out to be actually guys in real life? What does he do in the comics? I don't remember.
I don't know. I haven't read that far, I don't think. I've read a good chunk of Sonichu.
Turn into, like, evil versions of themselves, maybe.
Something. There's weird shit in Sonichu, like, just... I think one of the weirdest chapters is where Sonichu and Rosachu are doing sexy things, and, like, it talks about how they're consenting adults, and it, like, gives this whole detailed chapter about them getting it on with each other.
It's a hentai. It's literally a hentai that issue is.
I know.
I think there's one part where it's legitimately sad. Just like it makes you like feel bad about yourself. When there's one part where it says, where one of his comics says, Sonichu is like for autism, or how does he say it? I don't remember.
Well, the whole Sonichu thing is actually kind of sad if you really think about it.
The reading it just makes me feel bad for Chris Chan at times, because like you can clearly see where his real life gets mixed in.
Oh yeah. Well, he literally put the dean of his college in it and made her like a villain.
He makes a lot. He makes a lot of people he knows in real life villains in his comic. Yeah.
Also,
that's what I like.
one of my favorite things. So, Black Sonichu, he changes his name later on after he became woke, essentially. He changed his name to Blake Sonichu, but like, it's really weird.
I don't know if we've said this in the podcast, but it is. Oh wait, we did, right? Chris Chan. We've mentioned Chris Chan pepper spraying the one guy in one of these in these shows, right?
I think so. Like how that GameStop manager or whatever banned him from the store, so he pepper sprayed the employee because Sonic's arms were the wrong color.
He's taking out on the GameStop employee. Every time, it would be funny though if every time he finds something he dislikes in a video game,
pepper sprayed that same GameStop employee.
Chris Chan is an interesting guy, and I feel like at this point, like, he should just be banned on all forms of internet. Like, just any website he should be banned on immediately. Because all that's going to do is mess with him in real life and ruin his real life.
Oh yeah, well if he'd never had the internet, he would have been a lot better off.
Yeah, I think he's better off just in his room playing video games all day. But I think the evolution of his family is also pretty interesting. His life in general is interesting, like his family being hoarders, his his mom's clearly not doing so well right now, where she's
got like dementia or something.
Yeah, and then I like in the one video, doesn't he say something like, "Yep, my parents are hoarders"?
He says they're pack rats, but yeah, it was in his house tour that his dad actually got really mad at him for uploading because he's like, "You take that down, or the city's gonna condemn our house." And his dad's probably the person I felt the most bad for in that entire situation because he just wanted to have a normal life. And then he has Chris Chan as a son, causing all these issues, and it's really sad.
This is why you don't have kids over the age of 50. Yeah, I feel like that is the cause of his autism, isn't it? Because his parents are so old?
You could make that assumption, but I personally don't think that's fair. The older you are, the more chance you are likely to have a kid with autism, but the cause of autism is still kind of mysterious, and nobody knows for sure what exactly it is.
Oh yeah, there's like people that work for Sega that have literally like referenced Sonic, like the time where this guy pulls out like a plush of what's the Super Saiyan Sonic called?
Supersonic. That's literally all it's called.
Supersonic. But he pulls it out and he goes, you guess what this is? And then the girl says, Sonichu?
Yeah, I remember. I've seen that. And then the guy's like, no, we don't talk about that.
The creator, anybody who works for Sega probably shouldn't bring up Chris Chan or Sonichu.
Oh.
They probably shouldn't address him in any way, because that would probably lead to something with him.
You guys, so, I was going to talk about the Sonic movie, but then I decided, what do you guys think about the fact that Illumination is planning on making a Mario movie?
Way to go.
Do you think they'll put Minions in it?
Mario's wiping out the Minion race. Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik's a pretty good casting choice, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's very different he's very different in the cartoons than he is. You're thinking of the one series, what's it called, where Sonic and Tails and it's the wacky one.
The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah, in the wackier version, Dr. Robotnik definitely has like a big personality, but in the one, but in all the serious versions of Sonic, he's clearly like more evil and sophisticated. But you know the best thing to come out of Sonic?
What's that?
Two Babies, One Fox. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I read it 3 times.
Okay, you keep going on about that. You always try to find a way to shoehorn that in.
Do I?
Yes.
I think I've only mentioned it to you twice.
You mentioned it to me like 6 times. You've never mentioned it on a shit show before, but...
I think I only remember ever mentioning it twice before. And one was because I thought they referenced it in a Cartoon Network crossover thing. And then another reason, one was just because I wanted to say how weird it was. Can you tell us a story all about how your world got flipped turned upside down?
Have you guys ever seen the Fresh Prince of Blair? The YouTube poop?
What's that?
It's the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air YouTube poop.
I haven't. No.
It's interesting.
I haven't seen that, no.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of YouTube poops. I still would if there was any good ones.
What's
the only ones I've watched recently were the King of the Hill, the King of the Hill ones.
Oh yeah, those are the best. By far my favorite ones are King of the Hill ones. Like Hankster Hillington is my favorite YouTube pooper.
Yeah.
Clouds?
Future of RedEye, you really need to see Freddy Got Fingered.
You keep saying that too, but yeah.
It's a good movie. It's like the most quotable movie I've ever watched.
It is.
Like there's the part where in the beginning, like it literally, like the movie starts with like one of the greatest quotable moments is when his dad's like saying Gordon gets a job at a cheese sandwich factory, and his dad says, "Make me proud," and he goes, "Proud, proud. I'm gonna make you so proud, Dad, so proud." And he goes to work at a cheese sandwich factory, but he quits making. But there's one day where he comes home and after quitting the cheese sandwich factory, but he's eating a chicken sandwich when his dad made roast beef, and his dad his dad says, "You are not going to eat a chicken sandwich. You are going to eat roast beef." And then Gordon's like, "I want to eat a chicken sandwich, Dad. I'm an adult, Dad. I'm going to eat a chicken sandwich." And he goes, "Oh, look at Gordon. He's so upset because his stomach has too much roast beef." It's a pretty good movie. It's also a part where, like he did this in real life. He jerks off a horse. But what do you think is the most quotable movie you've seen?
The Room, easily. Like, I feel like The Room is the movie I quote the most.
You're tearing me apart. But what do you think is the best obscure thing you've seen? Like something like almost nobody knows.
You know, I could meme it up here and say SpongeBob, but
We're gonna do that one video.
I'd say, you know, all of the Go Nagai stuff I'm into, like the more obscure Go Nagai stuff, I enjoy quite a bit. Like Omori-kun, nobody fucking knows what Omori-kun is, and nobody ever, like, brings it up. Like, the Anime Hero brought it up once to talk about how it was, like, the worst manga he'd ever read. But I fucking love Omori-kun. Like, it's really, really stupid. But when you,
My hero is my hero. Everybody needs a hero.
But when you're awake for, like... When you've been awake for, like, 30 hours and you read Omori-kun, everything in it is just comedy gold. Because when your brain is, like, not all there, it's the funniest shit ever.
Also, something I've been meaning to ask you. Have you seen... I might have asked you this before. I'm gonna be like... I might have Alzheimer's if I did. But have you seen the movie Creep Show?
No. And I've told you multiple times that I haven't. You've asked me that 5 times now.
I definitely have not asked you that 5 times.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. You're like,
I know,
hey, have you seen Creep Show? And then like a month later, you're like, hey, have you seen Creep Show 2? It's like, I haven't seen Creep Show 1, so why would I have seen Creep Show 2?
I asked you.
And then you're like, hey, do you like the movie Creep Show? And I'm like, no, I haven't seen it. And then like a month later again, you're like, do you like Creep Show 2? And I'm like, no. And you're like, okay, well, it's better than Creep Show 1. Don't watch Creep Show 3.
I never said Creep Show 2 is better than Creep Show 1.
Whatever. The point is, you've brought it up multiple times to me.
I'm sorry, I have bad memory. I honestly don't know what's wrong with me. I forget everything.
I have the receipts, Corbin.
You have the receipts. Also, have you noticed how many times Vader Zim says lies in the show?
Yeah, a lot.
Gosh darn a lot.
But yeah, I think that's going to have to do it for here, because I'm going to have to get going here in a minute. So I think that's going to wrap it up for today's shit show. Definitely a lot better audio quality than the last one. So that's good.
I'm sorry I got cut out for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
5 minutes. I didn't mean... Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it happens. Anthony gets cut off from us quite a bit for whatever reason. Corbin and I usually have a good connection, but whenever we have a third person on, a lot of the times they'll drop out, like in the middle or towards the end. But yeah, that does it. See you guys next time.